Ladies and gentlemen, you can lose money and earn it back. You can waste it and still recover. You can invest it, misplace it, even burn it, and somehow it finds a way to return. But time, once it's gone for good. Every second you use is one you'll never get back, not a single one. Yet most people protect their money fiercely while giving away their time as if it holds no value. That's the illusion society sells, that wealth is measured in dollars, but it's not. Real wealth is measured in time. Money is limitless, you can always find ways to make more, but time is the only currency you're born with a fixed amount of. And every morning you wake up, that balance decreases. The clock doesn't just tick on your goals or your work, it ticks on your entire life. Tick that's a decision made, tick that's a moment lost forever, tick that's a chance either taken or missed. And many people don't realize it, but they're going bankrupt, not in their bank accounts, but in their lives. They trade away their hours for distractions. They hand over their days to opinions. They rent out their attention to anything but their purpose. They treat time like it's free, never noticing the cost is their own potential. And when the moment comes, when it's too late to get it back, they finally understand the truth. The real cost of wasted time is regret. Not regret over lost money, but over the life they didn't live. The talks they didn't have, the chances they avoided, the risks they never took, the projects they never finished, the dreams they buried under the excuse of someday. But someday isn't real. It's the graveyard where your dreams are quietly laid to rest. Time isn't kind. It doesn't bargain. It doesn't slow down for your doubts. It doesn't wait for your confidence. It moves always, silently, and without mercy. So if you want to succeed, not just in your job, not just in business, but in life, you must place the highest value on your time. Protect it like it's gold. Respect it like it's sacred. Guard it like your future depends on it, because it absolutely does. Start saying no to things that don't support your vision. Start trimming your schedule like your life is a work of art. Treat every hour like a seed, because that's what it is. Each hour shapes your future. Each block of time builds your legacy. And if you keep stacking careless bricks, don't be surprised when the whole structure falls. Time is the ultimate sculptor. It shapes the achievers and erases the forgettable. It rewards the focused and punishes the aimless. It watches everything you do and it misses nothing. So the question isn't, how much time do I have? The real question is, what am I doing with the time I've been given? Because one day you'll wake up and realize there's more past than future, less space to waste, less time to talk, and only room left to act or to wish you had. You want success? Respect time. You want peace? Value it. Manage your time. If you want to make an impact, take ownership of it, not through apps or shortcuts, but through focus, intention, and the daily discipline of someone who understands that every minute reflects who they are becoming. Because time, like money, leaves a trail. But unlike money, its receipts can't be returned or reversed. They show up in your life, in your energy, in the strength of your relationships, in your physical health, in the clarity of your thinking. So stop treating time as if it's disposable. It's not. Time is your most valuable asset. You don't truly own a home. You pay for it with your time. You don't own a business. You invest your hours into it. You don't own love, joy, or wisdom. You earn them through the time you commit to nurturing them. So stop telling yourself you're waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. Now is all you ever have. Now is where action begins. Now is the only time that carries real power, not someday, not one day, not when you feel ready. Now. So take it, use it, respect it, build with it, break through using it, because time is more valuable than money. Money can make you wealthy, but time used with purpose can make you unforgettable. Once you recognize how rare and meaningful time is, you stop bargaining with it. You stop trading it for things that you no longer give it away for comfort or for approval or to escape discomfort. You become relentless, not toward people, but toward your priorities, because you finally realize time is either a tool or a trap. It's either crafting your future or cutting it short. It's either being invested or being drained. And wasted time is a quiet form of self-betrayal because deep down you know better. You know you were meant to build, to grow, to lead, to contribute, to rise. And with each day you delay, each hour you drift, each moment given to the meaningless, you bury your potential a little deeper. But that ends now. If you choose to wake up, to meet time eye to eye and say, I see you and I won't waste you again, you begin to reclaim your hours. You mute the noise, you close the doors that distract you and open the ones that guide you toward legacy. Because every lasting legacy was built with disciplined time. Every master was shaped through hours of focused effort, not sudden inspiration, through consistent blocks of work, not fleeting success, through quiet years of dedication, not quick fame. So if you want your future to be different, begin by measuring time differently. Stop asking, how long will it take? Start asking, how well will I use today? Stop saying, I'm busy. Start admitting, I've been distracted. Because being busy isn't the same as being intentional. And productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And what matters most is the time you will never get back. You don't need 18-hour days to succeed. You need to be present in the hours you already have. Turn off distractions, mute the noise, raise your standard, guard your time like a soldier protects a gate. Because your dream is under siege. Every minute you spend ignoring your purpose is a minute lost. You weren't meant to just exist. You're here to execute. You're not meant to wait. You're here to wake up, move with urgency, not stress, work with precision, not pressure. Treat every hour as valuable and spend it only on what truly matters. Because time is not cheap. It's not an afterthought. It's not just something you pass on the way to success. Time is your legacy. And when it runs out, when the clock reaches zero, the only thing that will matter is how you used it. Did you build something that will outlive you? Did you love with presence? Did you learn with passion? Did you grow even when it was difficult? Did you fight for your best self? Or did you let it all slip away one distracted minute at a time? Because time doesn't offer refunds. There are no resets, no extra moments added when you finally realize its value. That moment of clarity often comes too late. So don't wait for a crisis to appreciate your time. Don't wait for loss, regret, or heartbreak to wake you up. Make the decision now while you still have moments left to shape. When you take control of your time, you take control of your life. When you respect your time, others begin to respect it too. And when you master your time, you begin to master yourself. That's where greatness begins. Because once you master yourself, you tap into a rare kind of power, the kind that doesn't beg for approval, doesn't wait for perfect conditions, and doesn't rely on external motivation. You become the moment, you create the opportunity, you set the standard. It all begins with how you treat your time, not as something to kill, but something to cultivate, not as something to get through, but something to grow through. Time isn't your enemy. Waste is. Distraction is. Indecision is. These are the real thieves. They don't just steal your hours, they steal your potential. They rob you of presence, passion, and progress. And if you let them, they'll rob you of your life. But the person who masters time becomes unstoppable, because time mastery is self-mastery. And self-mastery is the foundation for every breakthrough you dream of. Want to write that book? It's not just about ideas, it's about carving out the time. Want to change your health? It's not just about working out, it's about when and how you prioritize it. Want to grow your income? It's not just about hustle, it's about how wisely you spend your focus. Everything you want is built on how you handle your hours. That's the real equation, not just passion or potential, but precision in how you plan, how you protect your focus, and how fully you pour yourself into each moment without letting it leak away. Because most people don't lose decades all at once. They lose 5 minutes at a time. A scroll here, a delay there, one more excuse, one more distraction, and then they wonder where all the time went. But not you, not anymore. You're done with passive countdowns. You're done letting the clock run your life. From now on, you run the clock. You become the person who doesn't just show up. You maximize every moment. You don't just fill time, you invest it. You don't just exist in time, you expand through it. Because once you understand how short this ride is, you stop chasing noise and start listening for the signal. You start building what matters. You start speaking what matters. You start doing what matters. And you cut out everything else. That's not being cold, that's freedom. Because saying no to what doesn't serve your future is how you make room for what does. So you stop explaining your focus. You stop apologizing for raising your standards. You stop shrinking to fit the expectations of people who don't value their own time, let alone yours. Because you know, every second matters. Every second is either a seed or a scar. Every second is either building your vision or eroding it. Every second is either feeding your legacy or starving it. And legacies, they're not written in years. Legacies aren't built in a single moment. They're shaped over time, moment by moment, choice by choice, hour by hour. Real transformation doesn't come from distant dreams or dramatic events. It begins in how you handle the minute you have right now while it still belongs to you. Because once it's gone, it becomes part of your past. And if you've been giving away your future one moment at a time, then this is the moment to reclaim it. You don't need more hours in the day. What you need is more intention. You don't have to work harder, you need to waste less. Because when you start measuring your life by focused, intentional hours, you don't just become more productive, you become powerful. And that power commands attention. When the world sees someone who takes ownership of their time, it sees someone in control of their destiny. You carry yourself differently. You speak with clarity. You move with purpose. You radiate urgency, not the kind born from panic, but the kind fueled by understanding. You understand that this life isn't a rehearsal. You understand that your mission doesn't come with a guarantee of more time. The clock isn't ticking for you, it's ticking on you. And you've decided you won't let another minute be wasted on mediocrity. You won't let old habits steal another hour. You're done giving your life to the version of you that hesitated, avoided, and waited for the right moment. That version had its chance. That version spent too many mornings on autopilot, let too many opportunities slip, wasted too much potential. You've buried that version. In its place stands someone new. Someone who no longer spends time, they invest it. Someone who doesn't plead for time, they own it. Someone who doesn't fear the ticking clock, they set it, manage it, and win with it. You're not just surviving anymore. You're leading your life, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. Because when you start treating time as sacred, everything around you changes. Your relationships grow deeper because you're fully present. Your work becomes sharper because you're focused. Your vision expands because you're disciplined. And your life rises to a new level because now every action is intentional. This has never just been about success or money or achievement. It's always been about alignment. Alignment with your mission, your purpose, your future. This future version of you isn't a fantasy, it's real. Those who wake up each morning as prisoners of the clock, always behind, always rushing, always reacting. And then there are the few, the rare few, who don't chase time, they command it. Who don't beg for hours, they bend them like steel in their hands. These people don't react to the clock, they run it. And here's the raw truth. You're either mastering time or being manipulated by it. Time isn't just passing, it's being spent. Every second of your life is a transaction. And whether you realize it or not, you're trading your time for something. Some trade it for distractions, some trade it for comfort, some for validation. But the ones who rise, the ones who build, they trade time for transformation because they understand that time is the most ruthless currency in existence. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose status and regain it. But time, once it's gone forever. Every day, the clock resets. 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. And every single one is either wasted or invested. The difference between mediocrity and mastery is found in how you spend that invisible fortune. Time doesn't care if you're motivated. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause when you're tired. It just moves with or without you. So ask yourself, are you building your life or are you just passing time inside of it? Because time isn't the enemy. It's not the villain. Time is the mirror. It reflects what you truly value. It reveals what you actually prioritize, and it does it with brutal honesty. You say you want growth, but your time says you value distraction. You say you want success, but your calendar says you chase comfort. You claim you have goals, but your habits whisper you're lying. Look closely, because how you spend your time is the clearest expression of who you really are. But that mirror, it can be changed, not with wishes, not with affirmations, but with command. Command over your focus. Command over your schedule, command over your boundaries. That's how you take your life back. Because once you learn to control time, you don't just get more done, you become more. You become clearer, more intentional, more focused, more dangerous to the version of you that settles. Average people fill their time with activity. Extraordinary people fill it with impact. 1 hour of focused action can destroy 10 hours of distraction. 1 minute of clarity can erase an entire day of confusion. One decision to own your time can change your entire life. So let's go deeper. This isn't about time management. This is about life mastery. This is about becoming the kind of person who walks through every hour like it belongs to them, because it does. Time doesn't belong to the clock. It belongs to the committed. Let's get something clear. You don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem, because the truth is you're already doing what matters most to you. You say you don't have time to build your dream, but you find time to scroll. You say you're too busy to get healthy, but you binge another series. You say you want discipline, but your days are still ruled by your moods. So no, you don't need more hours. You need more truth. You need to stop lying to yourself about what you value and start living like your time is sacred. Because when you believe your time is sacred, you stop letting others waste it. You stop letting old habits steal it. You stop letting fear schedule your future. And in that moment, time bends. It doesn't get longer. You get sharper. You get so aligned with your mission that every second has a soul. This is how high performers move, with intent, with direction, with dominion over their days. They wake up before the world shouts. They take command before the distractions arrive. They are already in motion, while others are still waiting for the right mood. That's what separates the elite from the exhausted. And here's what they know. If you don't design your day will design you. And it will always design you small. That's why your mornings must be protected like gold. Guard your calendar like it's your throne. Say no like your legacy depends on it, because it does. Every time you say yes to nonsense, you say no to your next level. Stop trying to squeeze your purpose into a busy life. Build a life that serves your purpose. Start treating time like your highest currency, because it is. Want to get rich? Value time more than money. Want to feel peace? Buy back your hours from chaos. Want to lead? Then master your rhythm, not with hustle, but with harmony. Because when you control your time, you control your destiny. Time isn't just slipping away, it's watching what you tolerate, watching what you build, watching what you do with the minutes that millions would trade everything to get back. Time is your most loyal mirror and your most brutal judge. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care where you started. It doesn't care what happened yesterday. It only asks one thing every day without fail. What will you do with me today? And how you answer, that becomes your legacy. So stop letting time slip through your fingers like sand. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop delaying your dream in the name of someday. Someday is a myth. Later is a lie. Eventually is where purpose goes to die. The most powerful moment of your life isn't tomorrow, it's now. Now is the only time you can choose, the only time you can change, the only time that's real. Right now you can shift your trajectory. Right now you can reclaim your voice, your vision, your value. Right now you can become the one who no longer chases time, but commands it. Because time is not your master, time is your mirror. And when you look into it with clarity, with fire, with conviction, you don't just move through time, time moves through you. You bend it, you mold it. You walk through it like a king through his kingdom, not rushed, not reactive, but ready. So decide, not later, not when it's easy, now, from this moment forward. You don't live by the clock, you live by your calling. You don't chase time, you command it. And with that decision, you will never be the same again. Let it begin. Everything in your life, where you are, what you have, who you've become, is the direct reflection of a single hidden force. It's not your circumstances, not your luck, not your upbringing. It's your philosophy. That's right, your personal philosophy. Your philosophy is the lens through which you interpret the world, yourself, and every opportunity and challenge. It is the master architect of your future, not your boss, not your partner, not your background, not even your goals. Because goals without a philosophy are like a ship without a compass. Ambition without wisdom is a bullet train with no brakes. Motion without meaning is just noise. You want to change your life? Then don't just change your habits. Don't just change your friends. Don't just change your calendar. Change your thinking. Change your guiding principles. Change your default beliefs. Change your non-negotiables about how life works and how you respond to it. Because every decision you make, big or small, is filtered through your philosophy. And if that filter is distorted, broken, or built on excuses, then your future won't be shaped by effort, it'll be shaped by error. You don't rise the level of your hustle, you rise or fall to the level of your understanding. And that understanding comes from the beliefs you've built or borrowed. So let me ask you, who built the blueprint you're following? Was it shaped by thinkers, builders, warriors of truth? Or was it inherited from complainers, cowards, and the comfort obsessed? Because here's the truth. If your life is a reflection, then your philosophy is the mirror. If your bank account is inconsistent, your philosophy around money is flawed. If your relationships feel shallow, it's not bad luck. It's that your philosophy around connection is reactive, not intentional. If your energy is constantly drained, your beliefs around discipline, health, and vitality are weak. But here's the turning point. The moment you change the way you see, you begin to change the way you move. And that is the beginning of real power. Because philosophy isn't some theory in a book. It's your operating system. It's the code running your decisions, your focus, your effort. And if that system is built on excuses, it's too hard, it's not my fault, success is for other people, then you're running the wrong software for the life you say you want. But when you upgrade, really upgrade, to a philosophy of ownership, clarity, growth, and truth, everything starts to shift. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop waiting and start building. You stop blaming and start leading. That's the power of living by principle, not pressure. And principle beats pressure every single time. Let me be blunt. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because their thinking is lazy. They've never taken the time to do the brutal personal work of asking, what do I believe about success? What do I believe about struggle? What do I believe about me? Calls are so, and those unexamined beliefs, they're running the show quietly, invisibly, and destructively. They believe success is luck, so they wait. They believe money is evil, so they sabotage. They believe discipline is unnatural, so they justify inconsistency. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But the answer isn't out there, the answer is in here. The world is neutral. Opportunities don't discriminate, but your philosophy does. If you believe the game is rigged, you won't play hard. If you believe people are out to get you, you'll never trust long enough to build something meaningful. If you believe effort doesn't matter, you'll quit right before the breakthrough. Now, flip the script. If you believe life responds to growth, you'll grow. If you believe value creates wealth, you'll create. If you believe character outlasts trends, you'll rise while others fall. If you believe your habits shape your destiny, you'll take control, and suddenly the world starts to work with you, not because it changed, but because you did, because you changed your philosophy. Tony Robbins said it best. You can't change the seasons, but you can change yourself. That's the real work. That's the deep work. That's the only work that truly matters in the long run. And it starts with one powerful question. What are the beliefs I choose to live by? Not the ones handed to you by people who quit on their dreams. Not the ones you absorbed from culture or copied when you were afraid, but the ones you've tested, the ones that hold firm under pressure, the ones that elevate your character and keep you aligned when everything else shakes. Those are the beliefs that build empires. Because here's the hard truth. you will never outperform your philosophy. If you believe you're unworthy, you'll sabotage every opportunity. If you believe success requires betrayal, you'll never trust yourself enough to win. If you believe other people hold the power, you'll never unlock your own. But if you believe excellence is a choice, you'll choose it. If you believe obstacles are lessons, you'll learn. If you believe character matters more than image, you'll become unstoppable. So the challenge is this: don't just upgrade your resume, upgrade your rules, upgrade the questions you ask, upgrade the philosophy that drives every step you take. Because once your internal compass is clear, once your philosophy is consistent, powerful, and tested, your life will begin to rise to match it. Not overnight, but inevitably. Because the outside always catches up to the inside. And once the inside is unshakable, the outside becomes undeniable. Because when you've rebuilt the foundation, not your routine, not your goals, not your image, but your philosophy, you no longer need to chase results. You attract them. You no longer need to beg for breakthroughs. You become one. A man or woman with a strong personal philosophy is no longer swayed by what happens around them. They move according to what's happening within them. They're not emotional wrecks when resistance hits. They're grounded. They're not desperate for applause. They're driven by alignment. They're not addicted to instant wins. They're committed to long-term wisdom. And that kind of person, that kind of clarity, discipline, and integrity is magnetic. They walk differently. They speak with conviction. They listen with presence. They act with precision. They radiate peace, not because life is perfect, but because they've perfected the way they see life. That's the power of a refined philosophy. Not fake optimism, not blind hustle, but living truths, forged through awareness, ownership, and hard-won experience. You want to build wealth? Your philosophy around value, time, discipline, and delayed gratification better be solid. You want deep relationships? Your philosophy about trust, communication, responsibility, and vulnerability has to be mature. You want influence? Then your philosophy around integrity, humility, and consistency must be unshakable. Everything rests on this. Because in the end, it's not what happens to you that determines your future. It's not what you do once or twice that shapes your destiny. It's how you think every day. It's the values you return to when you're tired. It's the beliefs you live by when no one's watching. It's the mental frameworks you carry into every room, every decision, every conversation. That's where the real battle is fought. And most people lose that battle because they never knew it was happening. They try to change their income without changing their mindset. They try to attract better people without becoming a better person. They search for peace while still believing chaos is inevitable. They try to win on the outside with a philosophy that guarantees failure on the inside, but not you. You're here for something deeper. You're here to become dangerously aware of what's been driving you, aware of what's been driving you, aware of what you've accepted without question, and aware of what you need to upgrade, not in the world, but in yourself. When your philosophy is strong, the storms shape you instead of shattering you. And when your philosophy is true, your results will take care of themselves. So stop treating philosophy like it's a luxury for thinkers. It's a requirement for builders. You don't build an empire on emotion. You build it on principle, on internal laws that don't shift when your mood does, on beliefs that guide your hands when everything feels uncertain, on truth that overrides temptation. Because truth, like discipline, beats motivation. So responsibility is freedom, growth is more important than comfort, and purpose will always be more powerful than pressure. These are not just clever quotes. They're codes. And if you adopt them, if you truly own them, you'll never need to chase alignment again. You will be alignment. Your actions will flow. Your energy will focus. Your direction will clarify. And your life will start working, not by luck, but by law. The law of cause and effect. The cause, a personal philosophy rooted in truth. The effect, a life that reflects who you became. Because in the end, your life doesn't respond to what you hope for, it responds to who you are. And who you are is shaped by what you believe. So get clear, get ruthless, get intentional. Audit your beliefs like your future depends on it. Because it does. Ask yourself every day, where did this idea come from? Is it true or just popular? Does it make you stronger or weaker? Does it lead to freedom or fear? Is it based in truth or comfort? These are the questions you must ask when examining your beliefs. And when you find a broken piece of your philosophy, replace it. Not with something trendy, not with something that sounds good on social media. Replace it with something that works. Because the proof of a philosophy isn't how poetic it sounds in theory, it's what it produces in real life. If your philosophy doesn't produce strength, clarity, peace, direction, discipline, and purpose, it's not true enough, it's not strong enough, and most importantly, it's not yours. So make it yours. Write it, refine it, live it. Then watch how your life begins to align around it like gravity, not because life got easier, but because you got wiser. You stopped floating with trends. You started building on truth. And when you do that, life starts to bend toward you. But when life bends toward you, it's not magic. It's not luck. It's not the universe doing you a favor. It's not coincidence. It's alignment. It's the result of a human being who finally decided, I will no longer live by accident. I will live by design. And design is always rooted in philosophy, not just in what you say you believe on good days, but in what you hold on to during chaos. Not just in what sounds nice, but in what survives the weight of reality. Because here's the truth, real life doesn't care what you say you believe. It only responds to what you do. If your philosophy says, I value health, but your actions say comfort food and skipped workouts, then health isn't part of your philosophy. It's part of your fantasy. If your philosophy says, I believe in growth, but your life is built around avoiding challenge, then growth isn't your truth. It's your costume, and the world sees through it. But when your philosophy becomes embodied, when your beliefs become habits, when your convictions become discipline, when your standards become automatic, you stop needing motivation altogether because you become the motivation. You become the standard. You walk into a room and people feel it. Not because you're loud, but because you're centered. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you've built something inside that can't be shaken by anyone. That's the power of philosophy lived out. It's quiet, it's steady, it's relentless, and it multiplies. Your clarity gives others permission to clear their fog. Your discipline reminds others of their potential. Your truth, spoken not just in words, but through the way you live, becomes a torch that lights every room you enter. You're not trying to be inspiring. You're simply aligned. And alignment is magnetic. That's what the world is starving for. Not more information, not more hype, but more embodied wisdom. More people whose lives match their words. People who live what they believe. People with a clear why, a grounded how, and an unshakable what. Because when you know what you're here for, your purpose, your mission, your core, no setback, no betrayal, no detour can keep you off the path for long. You might fall, but you rise stronger. You might doubt, but you return to truth quicker. You might face resistance, but you walk through it with conviction. Because your foundation is no longer external, it's internal. Your personal philosophy leads the way, and when philosophy leads, fear follows. Not because fear vanishes, but because it doesn't get to drive anymore. Your faith drives, your clarity drives, your conviction drives, and in that moment, you become